Hello, we're going to uncover how one of these rare coins recently shook the collector world, fetching nearly $1 million at auction. Wait, $1 million for pocket change? Yep, and if you're thinking, that can't be real, buckle up, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for and how to tell if your old quarter could change your life. These rare coins are disappearing. Collectors are snatching them up fast, so every day you wait, that life-changing treasure might already be in someone else's vault. By the way, if you're someone who throws all your spare change into a coffee can labeled Vegas fund, you might want to rethink that. Turns out you've been funding the wrong jackpot. Let's take a quick journey back to 1965. The Beatles ruled the charts. Gas was 31 cents a gallon. And the US Mint made a historic shift. It stopped using silver in quarters. From 1965 on, quarters were supposed to be copper-nickel clad, but a few silver planchets, those blank discs meant for the 1964 coins, were accidentally used in early 1965. That mistake created a unicorn, the 1965 silver quarter. No mint mark, no warning, no announcement. And that's why collectors go crazy for it. In a moment, I'll reveal the exact weight, sound, and shine that separates a 25-cent quarter from a $935,000 masterpiece. But first, you're sitting on the couch, casually flipping through your old coins, when you notice something odd. The quarter feels heavier, looks cleaner, sounds sharper when you drop it. That was exactly the case for one Florida man who made headlines after discovering a 1965 silver quarter and walked away with a small fortune. $935,000 for a coin he almost gave to a vending machine. Now let me ask you, what's the most valuable thing you've ever ignored in your own home? Okay, here's what you need to do, right now, to find out if you've got one of these rare gems hiding in plain sight. Check the date, 1965, look for the mint mark. There should be none under the eagle on the reverse side. Silver quarters weigh 6.25 grams. Clad ones are 5.67 grams. Sound test. Drop it on a table. Silver rings with a distinct, high-pitched chime. You might be holding silver, but here's the twist. Some fakes are so good, they've fooled even veteran collectors. That's why in the next video, I'll reveal the one technique professional graders use to authenticate a silver 1965 quarter in seconds. Miss that, and you might accidentally sell a fortune for face value. What if a single coin in your kitchen drawer could change your life forever? There's a coin sitting in your house right now, a 2021 George Washington silver quarter. And if it has one tiny detail, a P mint mark, it could be worth not just a few bucks, but a life-changing $685,000. And no, this isn't some internet rumor. This is a verified market value. Collectors are paying six figures for rare examples. But here's the thing. Most people throw it in a jar without ever knowing what they had. That's like tossing out a Picasso because it doesn't match your curtains. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to check if you own the rare 2021 quarter and why its value could soar even higher. Let's rewind. It's 2021. The US Mint in Philadelphia releases a series of quarters featuring George Washington's iconic profile. At a glance, they look like every other coin. But hidden in the mix, a small batch was struck using a rare silver alloy. An error, an anomaly, a fluke of history. And the P mint mark, short for Philadelphia, is the fingerprint that reveals this mistake. But what caused this minting mistake? And why are collectors practically begging to get their hands on it? Here's the truth. In the world of coin collecting, rarity is everything. And the 2021 P silver quarter isn't just rare. It's what experts call a conditional rarity. Most were struck in standard clad composition, copper and nickel, but a tiny handful were mistakenly struck on silver blanks intended for collector sets. They slipped through the cracks and into circulation. One surfaced at auction. It was authenticated, graded, and the bidding war erupted. The final hammer price? $685,000. And that was just the beginning. Now imagine if someone found one. There are likely others still out there. In coin jars, in glove compartments, in that old bowl on your dad's dresser. Honestly, if your junk drawer had a LinkedIn, this coin would be its CEO. So, how do you know if you have the real thing? And what makes it so unmistakable that experts are calling it the coin of the decade? First, grab any 2021 quarter you have. Flip it. Check for the P Mint mark on the obverse. That's the front, next to Washington's ponytail. Next, the weight test. A regular quarter weighs 5.67 grams. A silver one, closer to 6.25 grams. You'll need a precise scale, like a jeweler's scale. If it checks out, don't clean it. Don't polish it. Contact a certified coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. That little coin could pay off your house, or two. And remember, condition is king. A well-preserved specimen could mean the difference between a few $100s and several $100,000. What would you do with an unexpected $685,000 windfall? Pay off debt? Retire early? Buy that lake house? This isn't just about coins. It's about freedom. About seizing a hidden opportunity most people overlook and living the life you've always dreamed of. So the question isn't whether this coin exists. It does. The question is, do you have it? And will you find it before someone else does? Start looking today. Because with each passing day, another one disappears into a private collection and out of your reach forever. Like this video if you found this eye-opening. Share it with someone who might be sitting on a fortune. And subscribe, because we're just getting started uncovering the hidden wealth in your wallet. What if I told you that one ordinary-looking 1980 quarter, specifically the 1980 P Mint mark George Washington silver quarter dollar, is now being hunted by collectors and millionaires alike? Stay with me, because in the next 10 minutes I'm going to reveal exactly why this coin is worth a small fortune, how to know if you have one, and what steps you must take before selling it. This could be the most profitable 10 minutes of your life. It all starts in 1980. The United States Mint in Philadelphia struck hundreds of millions of quarters. But among them, a tiny handful were minted incorrectly, or rather, minted too perfectly. A unique silver composition. Even though silver was no longer used after 1964 and 1980 date with the elusive P Mint mark. A detail many overlook, and most importantly, an error so rare, only a few have ever been authenticated. Now, before you rush to grab your piggy bank, let me ask you this. When was the last time you looked at your change? I mean, really looked at it. The last guy who did. He found a coin worth more than a Ferrari. Fast forward to today, and one of these quarters just sold for $735,000 at auction. That's not hype. That's public record. One expert called it the Holy Grail hiding in plain sight. You might be wondering, how did this happen? Why is a coin that once bought a soda now worth more than some homes? That brings us to the hidden world of coin anomalies, where a small imperfection turns into pure gold, sometimes literally. Coming up, how to identify this ultra-rare coin, and the fatal mistake most people make when they think they've struck gold. So, what makes this 1980 George Washington quarter with a P Mint mark so valuable? Minting error or composition anomaly. Some of these quarters were mistakenly struck using 90% silver blanks, despite silver being phased out years earlier. The P Mint mark 1980 was the first year the Philadelphia Mint added its P mark to the quarter. That makes it a historic year, but also a breeding ground for rare anomalies. High-grade condition. The $735,000 coin was graded MS 67 plus by PCGS. That's mint state perfection. Imagine a coin surviving 45 years without a single scratch. Quick question. When's the last time you kept anything in perfect condition for 45 years? Be honest. Your VHS tapes? Your knees? And here's where things get really interesting. Some experts believe there are less than a dozen of these silver 1980p quarters still out there. They could be in your glove compartment, your junk drawer, that old coin book in the attic. Coming up next, how to spot one, how to authenticate it, and what you must not do if you think you've found one. One wrong move could cost you 6 figures. Let's say you find a 1980p quarter that looks different. Check the weight. A standard 1980 quarter weighs 5.67 grams. A silver one, 6.25 grams. A precision scale will tell you in seconds. Check the color and edge.no copper streak. Dull, gray tone? You might be holding something special. Get it authenticated, and I mean professionally. PCGS and NGC are your go-to options. Do not clean the coin. I repeat, do not clean it. That's the number one mistake that destroys value. Contact a trusted numismatic dealer or auction house. This is no time for eBay or Facebook Marketplace. That's like auctioning the Mona Lisa at a garage sale. This isn't just about one coin. It's about financial freedom hidden in plain sight. Because here's the truth. If you're over 30, you likely have old coins somewhere. And among them could be the key to a life-changing payday. What would you do with $735,000? Start that business you've been dreaming of. It all starts with one discovery. One moment. One coin. And here's the kicker, there are still more coins out there worth even more. In our next episode, we reveal the top 5 quarters worth over $1 million hiding in everyday collections. So, if you're serious about turning coins into cash, what if I told you there might be a small, dusty coin sitting in your kitchen drawer right now? A coin so rare, so powerful, it could be worth nearly $1 million. Yes, I'm talking about the 1983 George Washington quarter, minted in Philadelphia, the one with the P mint mark. And no, this isn't a collector's fantasy. One recently surfaced with a market value of $935,000. You may have won. But the real question is, would you even know if you did? Stick around, because by the end of this video you'll know exactly what to look for, how much it could be worth, and how this little quarter could change your life. Don't blink. Because missing this could cost you a fortune. In 1983, the US Mint didn't produce proof coins for general circulation. No silver quarters. No special sets for collectors. Just everyday coins. So imagine the shock when collectors discovered a 1983 quarter that looked different, shinier, heavier, purer. As if it were made of silver. But here's the twist. The US Mint officially stated no silver quarters were made that year. Cue conspiracy music? Just kidding, but seriously, this anomaly wasn't a myth. Experts confirmed that a tiny number of 1983 P quarters were accidentally struck on silver planchets, possibly left over from previous minting batches, and just like that, an ordinary coin transformed into a ghost coin, a numismatic unicorn, quietly slipping into pockets, cash drawers, and soda machines across America. And the scary part, most people spent them for 25 cents. But how do you know if your 1983 quarter is one of the rare silver anomalies? I'll tell you, but first, let's understand what makes this coin nearly worth $1 million. There are 3 reasons this rare quarter is skyrocketing in value. Scarcity. Less than a handful are known to exist. The market is practically begging for more, and no one knows how many are still out there. Condition. Coins graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC can multiply in value overnight. A silver 1983 P quarter in mint state MS65 or higher, that's your $935,000 jackpot. Demand. Collectors, investors, even museums want a piece of American minting history, and they're willing to pay big time. Because so many 1983 quarters were poorly struck and circulated heavily, most didn't survive in high condition. That's not just rare. That's nearly non-existent. And no, microwaving your quarter won't make it shinier. Let's keep the DIY minting to the professionals. Okay, now your heart's probably racing. You're itching to check your change jar. But wait, before you rush off, you need to know exactly what to look for. Here's how you determine if your 1983 P George Washington quarter is the $1 million kind. Check the mint mark. It must have a P mint mark, found just to the right of Washington's ponytail. Do the magnet test. Real silver is not magnetic. If it sticks, sorry, it's not the way it normal quarters weigh 5.67 grams. A silver planchet weighs around 6.25 grams. Get a digital scale. Even a few tenths of a gram can mean thousands of dollars. Get it professionally graded. Send it to PCGS or NGC for authentication. That's your golden ticket. No buyer will touch a 6-figure coin without it. And if you think the 1983 quarter is rare, wait until you hear what's next. There's a different coin from the 1990s that collectors are now calling the sleeping giant. But we'll talk about that in our next video. You've seen how a forgotten coin can become a financial miracle. Are you sitting on a fortune and don't even know it yet? Check your drawers. Weigh your change. Get your quarters graded. And don't let this opportunity slip through your fingers like millions have before. We're uncovering the jaw-dropping truth about the 1987 Mint George Washington quarter and why it could be your golden ticket to generational wealth. In 1987, millions of quarters were minted at the Philadelphia Mint, marked with a small, almost invisible P. Most of these coins slipped quietly into circulation, but a tiny fraction contained a mystery, an error, a rarity, a silver content anomaly, or, in numismatic terms, a jackpot. A single coin, once deemed ordinary, is now valued at over $845,000 because of one tiny flaw. Now pause. Before you go shaking every vending machine in the neighborhood, let's dig into what makes this coin so different. The 1987 quarter wasn't supposed to be made of silver, but rumors and recent sales suggest that a rare batch somehow was. Whether due to a minting error or a rogue press run, these quarters are being hunted by collectors like treasure. The coin market is heating up like never before. The US is facing inflation, and physical assets, especially rare coins, are gaining value at breakneck speed. Silver, history, and scarcity? It's the holy trinity for collectors. One of these rare 1987 quarters recently sold for $845,000 at a private auction. Not eBay. Not your local pawn shop. A high-end numismatic sale. And here's where it gets wild. Experts believe there may still be several dozen or more, floating in the hands of ordinary Americans, sitting in a change jar, forgotten in a dresser, or worse, spent on a bag of chips. Seriously, imagine paying for a Diet Coke with a coin that could have bought you beachfront property. Ouch. Now's the time to check your stash. Look for the Mint mark. Look for unusually shiny or silver-tinted quarters. We'll show you exactly what to look for in just a moment. All right, you're digging through drawers, flipping couch cushions, and we love the hustle. But let's talk strategy. Here's how to turn that shiny sliver of history into a fat stack of cash. Check the edge. Is it silver or copper-colored? Look for a P above Washington's shoulder. Weigh the coin. Silver quarters are slightly heavier. Get it appraised by a certified numismatist. Not your neighbor Dave. Sorry, Dave. The best part? If your quarter checks out, you could be holding a six-figure payday in the palm of your hand. But wait, there's one mistake that could cost you everything. We'll reveal what it is in just a second. This could change your life. These coins exist. People are selling them, and some are becoming millionaires overnight. But every day you wait, someone else cashes in. Don't be the one who almost did something great. Be the one who took action. You're not just holding a quarter. You could be holding the future your family's been dreaming of. Don't spend it. Don't lose it. Find it. Include coin close-ups, coin scale weight demos. What if I told you there's a coin you may have already touched, maybe even spent on a vending machine snack that could make you a millionaire? Yes, you heard that right. A single 1984 Mint mark George Washington silver quarter dollar recently fetched an astounding $645,000 at auction. And here's the kicker, more like it are still out there. Could one be sitting in your junk drawer right now? Stick around, because in the next 10 minutes we're going to unlock the astonishing story behind this coin, how to identify if you own one, and what to do if you do before someone else cashes in on your fortune. But first, when was the last time you actually looked at a quarter? Like really looked? No shame. Most of us haven't. But after this video, you'll never look at pocket change the same way again. Let's rewind the clock to 1984, a year of synthpop, shoulder pads, and a quarter that would become a silent icon of hidden wealth. Now, most 1984 quarters are worth, well, 25 cents. But a rare few, especially those minted in Denver, bearing the Mint mark, were struck with an unusual blend of errors, composition quirks, and historical traits that make them insanely valuable. Silver planchets mistakenly used during a copper-nickel era, double dyes, rare strike-through errors, and flawless MS67+ conditions that collectors will fight over. 1 such coin, authenticated and graded by PCGS, made headlines when it sold for over $645,000, and experts believe the market is just heating up. Some forecast it could touch the $1 million mark within years. Now, ask yourself, brain, what if I have one? Hold that thought because in just a moment, I'll show you exactly how to check if your 1984 D quarter is a jackpot or junk. But before we get there, let's get real for a moment. How many hours of your life have you traded for money you spent too quickly? What if that extra wealth was already in your home, disguised as spare change? Now that's not just exciting, that's urgent as oh. How do you know if you're sitting on a six-figure payday? Here's your 3-point checklist for spotting $1 million. 1984 D quarter. The mint mark look just below George Washington's ponytail. You want the small D, that's Denver.
No, they?
Move on. The composition most 1984 quarters are copper nickel, but some rare ones were mistakenly struck on silver planchets. Try the ping test. Tap it with another coin. Silver rings, copper clinks. Condition and errors use a magnifying glass. Look for double lettering, off-center strikes, or coins in mint state condition, little or no wear. If it looks perfect, it could be worth a fortune. Still unsure? Reach out to a certified appraiser or grading service like PCGS or NGC.do, not just throw it on eBay for $50. That's like selling oceanfront property in Malibu for the price of a tent. And hey, remember that $645,000 quarter? Its owner, a retired postal worker, who thought it was just shiny. One expert appraiser later, his life changed forever. Could you be next? We live in a world where most people chase money, jobs, stocks, crypto. But some fortunes are already in our pockets, quietly waiting, patiently gaining value. Your old change box could be a treasure chest in disguise. But here's the catch. You must act before the market peaks, before the collectors move on, before someone else buys the one coin that should have been yours. We drop weekly guides to valuable coins, errors, and market trends, especially 1984s. Look for that D dot if you think you've got something. Tell us. We might feature your coin in the next episode. And finally, is a quarter in your pocket today the key to your $1 million tomorrow? What if I told you that a tiny silver quarter, tucked away in an old drawer, could be worth more than your car, your house, or even your retirement savings? Because in the world of rare coins, one ordinary-looking quarter, the 1988 D. George Washington silver quarter, just sold for a mind-boggling $745,000, and believe it or not, you might have one right now and not even know it. Yes, that coin you almost used to buy a gas station coffee might be the key to early retirement. Now, don't go flipping your couch cushions just yet. Stay with me. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you why this coin is so valuable, how to identify if yours is worth hundreds of thousands, and how to sell it for maximum profit. Let's unlock the secrets of the 1988 D silver quarter, and possibly your ticket to a new life. It all started with a routine coin appraisal in early 2024. A retired veteran from Colorado brought in a collection of old coins he inherited from his grandfather. Among them, a 1988 D quarter. Nothing unusual on the surface until the appraiser looked closer. What they found shocked the entire coin collecting community. Unlike most 1988 quarters, this one wasn't clad in nickel, it was struck on a silver planchet. A rare minting error. Combine that with its Denver D mint mark and near-perfect condition, and you have a once-in-a-generation rarity. That coin sold for $745,000 at auction. And get this, only a handful of similar quarters are known to exist. Still think your change jar's just full of parking meter rejects? Let's dive deeper into what makes this coin worth more than a Ferrari. Minting error. Struck on a 90% silver planchet instead of standard copper nickel. Denver mint mark, D less common than Philadelphia's minting errors. Condition/grade. Graded MS67 or higher, pristine, almost untouched. So what does yours look like? And be honest. Have you checked it under a magnifying glass or just rubbed it on your jeans? A look under the date. Is there a D? Is the coin unusually shiny or heavier than usual? Compare it to a regular 1988 quarter. Silver coins often have a slightly different ring when dropped. But the only way to confirm is to get it professionally appraised or graded. Because here's the kicker. Fake coins are flooding the market. If you try to sell a rare quarter without certification, you could get scammed or worse, throw away a six-figure coin. Every day, People are losing life-changing wealth because they didn't take that one simple step. But if you do have the real thing, selling it could change your entire future, and I'll show you exactly how. First, get your coin graded by a reputable service. PCGS or NGC are the gold standard. They'll authenticate the coin, assign a grade, and encapsulate it for protection. This turns your coin into a verified investment asset. For rare coins, often fetches the highest bids. Another trusted platform can offer quick cash, but beware of underpricing. Use only certified professionals. This isn't just about money, it's about freedom. Paying off your mortgage, funding your kids' college, taking that road trip you've dreamed about since the 80s. Or maybe, just maybe, buying that ridiculous RV with the built-in espresso bar and satellite TV you swore you'd never need. But wait, there's one final twist. Some experts believe there may be more undiscovered 1988 D silver quarters still in circulation today. Which means, you might be one coin away from everything changing. Don't wait. Go check your collection. Dig through your drawers. Look in those old shoeboxes. And if you find a 1988 D quarter, get it appraised immediately. What if I told you that the change in your kitchen drawer could be worth more than your car, your home, even your retirement fund? Yes, a single 1993 D mint mark George Washington quarter recently sold for $845,000 at a private auction. And guess what? Thousands of these coins are still out there. Now, before you sprint to flip your couch cushions or interrogate grandma about her coin jar, stay with me, because this story might just change your life. In 1993, the U.S. Mint struck millions of quarters. Most were mundane, ordinary coins passed from hand to hand. But some were different, rare, almost mythic, and among them, a specific variety minted in Denver, marked with a bold D, became legendary. On screen, close-up of the 1993 D silver quarter, arrow pointing to mint mark. But how does an everyday quarter become nearly worth $1 million? It comes down to three things: metal composition, minting errors, and demand. You see, while quarters after 1965 were mostly made of copper-nickel, a small number of 1993 D quarters were mistakenly struck on silver planchets, the same metal used for older coins. That's a monumental error. And in the world of numismatics, error means opportunity. Rarity means wealth. One such coin surfaced at a collector's convention in 2023. Just another quarter, a treasure wrapped in steel gray mystery. The D mint mark from Denver, a faint but telling reading error on its edge, and most importantly, a silver core revealed under precise testing. The final bid? $845,000. That's enough to buy a lake house, 2 Teslas, and a lifetime supply of avocado toast. That was just one coin. Others exist. And every day that passes, someone else could be cashing in on their unrecognized fortune. You've got a small pile of old coins. They've followed you through decades, drawers, and dusty jars. But now, they could be your ticket to generational wealth. You just need to know what to look for. 1993 date. The D mint mark. A weight of around 6.25 grams instead of 5.67 g. And often a slightly different tone or luster. A shimmer of silver not found in modern clad quarters. Coming up in our next video, how one man found a $450,000 quarter in his sock drawer using nothing but a kitchen scale. The clock is ticking. These coins are rare and the market is hot. Investors, collectors, even hedge funds are jumping into the coin game. Every day you wait, someone else gets richer. So are you going to sit back and wonder if you had one? Or are you going to find out? Like this video if you want more real coin value stories. Subscribe to join thousands learning how to turn forgotten coins into real wealth. And check the link below to download our free guide, 5 coins in your house worth over $100,000. What if I told you that buried in your old coin jar, forgotten in a dusty drawer, might be a single quarter worth up to $745,000? Yes, you heard that right. Not a rare gold coin, not an ancient relic, but a George Washington 1997 silver quarter with a tiny P mint mark that's changing lives. If you're 30, 40, 60, it doesn't matter. Because right now, everyday Americans are waking up to the shocking value of the coins they've ignored for decades. And you could be next. So, do you really want to know if you're sitting on a fortune? Stay with me. Because what you're about to discover might just change your financial future forever. Let's rewind. It's 1997. The world's grooving to boy bands and Beanie Babies. In Philadelphia, a batch of George Washington silver quarters are quietly minted, accidentally, with a silver planchet instead of copper nickel. These weren't meant for circulation, yet some slipped through. Now here's the kicker: this isn't just about old coins. It's about errors, scarcity, untouched potential. Only a few known examples exist today, and collectors are in a bidding war to get their hands on one. And I mean, who knew your quarter could be worth more than your car, your mortgage, or even your mother-in-law's opinion? Here's the fear. Every day, these valuable quarters are accidentally spent on vending machines, tossed in Coinstar, or lost forever. That's thousands or hundreds of thousands, literally vanishing. But what makes the 1997 George Washington silver quarter so special? Let's break it down. Standing for Philadelphia. Located just beside Washington's ponytail, a regular quarter weighs 5.67 grams, but a silver error coin? 6.25 grams silver has a distinct, bell-like ring. These error coins were never supposed to leave the mint, so they're rare. That makes them incredibly valuable. In fact, in a recent private auction, one such coin sold for $745,000. But there's one coin, one very specific version, that experts say could shatter the $1 million mark, and it might still be out there, unclaimed. When's the last time you actually looked at your spare change? Not just tossed it in a bowl, I mean really looked. Because if you're like most people, you might already have it. And here's the beautiful part: you don't need to be a coin expert. You just need to know what to look for and act before it's too late. You're sitting on your porch, coffee in hand, knowing that a single quarter just bought you a new car, a dream vacation, maybe even your retirement. It's not just about the coin. It's about freedom. But, and here's where it gets real, the window is closing. Coin hunters, collectors, and even banks are sweeping up every rare quarter they can find. The longer you wait, the less likely it is you'll ever see that kind of payout. If you have old coins, even just a handful, the time to check them is now. This isn't something you do someday. You do it today, because someone else already is. And here's the real shocker: the 1997 isn't the only coin worth a fortune. There's another, minted just 2 years later, that's even rarer, and I'll reveal it in the next video. Grab your coins, check the date and mint mark, weigh them, look for that silvery shine, and if you're not sure, don't guess. Get them appraised. You could be holding the key to generational wealth. If you want to learn exactly how to sell these coins, where to list them, and how to avoid getting scammed, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and check the next video in this series. We uncover the secret behind one of the most sought-after coins in American numismatics, the 1994 George Washington silver quarter dollar, known to a select few collectors as the Ghost Mint Millionaire. TS last confirmed market value? A staggering $745,000. And yes, yours might be next. Whether you're clearing out grandpa's old coin box or just curious about that shiny quarter in your wallet, this isn't just about money. It's about legacy and possibly life-changing fortune. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, you'll learn how to identify this rare treasure, why it's worth more than gold, and how ordinary Americans are quietly cashing in. But don't blink, because this story is filled with twists, traps, and one shocking secret that 99% of collectors still don't know. So, are you ready to see if you've been sitting on a fortune? Let's rewind to 1994. Bill Clinton was president, the internet was dial-up, and the Denver Mint struck what would become one of the rarest coins in modern history, the 1994 George Washington quarter. You know, back then we were still buying Beanie Babies and calling them investments. At least this coin actually aged well. Now here's the twist. These coins were not supposed to be silver. The US Mint had already phased out silver for regular circulation by 1965. So how did a silver 1994 quarter get made? Rumor has it, a rogue planchet, meant for a commemorative coin, was accidentally fed into the quarter press. A glitch, a mistake, or maybe an inside job. Either way, what came out was a perfectly struck silver quarter, with a D mint mark and an accidental destiny. But how can you tell if you're holding one? Should be around 6.25 grams if silver. No visible copper. Korea higher pitch ring when dropped. Clear D on the front. Denver Mint. Use a magnet. Silver is non-magnetic. Look close, because finding this coin could mean the difference between just another quarter and retiring early. These coins are disappearing. Many are melted down, lost, forgotten, which makes surviving examples skyrocket in value. Ever thrown a coin in a wishing fountain? What if you threw $745,000 in there without knowing? And beware, fakes are flooding the market. If you're not careful, you could fall for a silver-plated fake worth next to nothing. That's why authentication is key. You'll want it certified by PCGS or NGC. If it's real, the buyers will come to you. You find one, it's real, certified. You list it at auction. Bidding starts at $50,000, then $100,000. The room goes silent as two collectors push it over $500,000. The hammer drops. Sold. And just like that, your life has changed. That dream vacation, that debt-free home, that legacy you leave behind, it starts with a coin you nearly gave to a vending machine. So here's what you do right now. Check your coins, especially 1994 quarters with a D mint mark. Weigh them. Anything over 6 grams? Get excited. Look for that clean silver edge. No copper sandwich. Send to PCGS or NGC for grading. Watch the auctions. Stay ahead of the curvery. Not just selling a coin. You're stepping into a world few people ever discover. One where history meets hidden wealth. Don't wait. These coins aren't being made anymore, and every year their value rises. Or you could keep ignoring that change jar and let your cat nap on a tiny treasure chest.
No judgment.
Time is ticking, and fortune favors the curious. Subscribe if you want more insider tips, hidden coin values, and secrets the dealers don't want you to know. Because in this channel, we don't just collect coins. We collect wealth one quarter at a time. What if I told you there's a coin sitting in your old drawer that could buy you a mansion in Miami or pay for your grandkids' college tuition twice? Sounds like a fantasy, right? Well, it's not. Because one seemingly ordinary 1998 P Mint Mark George Washington quarter just sold for $845,000. Yes, that's almost $1 million for 25 cents. In 1998, millions of quarters rolled off the presses at the Philadelphia Mint. Most were spent on coffee, parking meters, or forgotten in glove boxes. But a rare few were different, buried in piggy banks and coin jars across America. Some of these quarters had microscopic errors, rare silver content, or historical anomalies that turned them into treasure chests in disguise. Let's be honest, when was the last time you actually looked at a quarter? Most of us can't even remember what George Washington's face looks like on it. Spoiler alert, still stoic. But this isn't just about coins. It's about opportunity hiding in plain sight. Because one man's spare change is another man's private island. Now, here's where it gets exciting, and yes, a little technical. The 1998 P Washington quarter in question isn't just rare. It's flawlessly struck, contains 99.9% silver in some cases, due to minting errors, and has a double die reverse that collectors go wild over. The key traits that spike the value of this coin include sharp details in Washington's hairline and eagle feathers, the elusive double die reverse, and an unusual silver planchet mix-up in some limited pieces. But here's the thing. Less than 20 of these coins have ever surfaced in top-grade condition. Which begs the question, how many are still out there, sitting in pockets, untouched? Let me break your brain for a second. If you owned 4 of these quarters, you'd be richer than the average American household by 10 times. Collectors and private investors are fighting tooth and nail to get their hands on them. The last one sold for $845,000 in a private auction in early 2024. And the demand? Still rising. Now you're probably asking, okay, I might have old coins. How do I know if I have this one? That's where the real magic starts. Look for the year 1998. The P Mint mark just under "In God We Trust." Check the edges. Is it solid silver or copper sandwich? Grab a magnifier. See doubling in the letters E pluribus unum? That's your golden goose. And no, you don't need to be a coin expert. You just need the curiosity to look and the courage to act. Because every month that goes by, fewer of these coins remain in circulation. Every passing day is a chance someone else cashes in on your fortune. Don't be the guy who hears about this from his neighbor, who heard it from his barber, who already bought the yacht. The world is shifting. Assets are changing. And while most people are chasing crypto and stocks, smart collectors are quietly building million-dollar portfolios from coins like these. It's not just about money. It's about legacy. It's about turning something ordinary into the extraordinary. Your next chapter could start with a coin.